Hey people, in that last movie of Odin Part 2, I came to Exodus 5 here to show you the difference between the niggas work, the taskmasters, NGSI, and the Negro, NGRO, will be reduced. And this isn't right. You can see that the N is the seed or the cycle of growth. And that's just the opposite of reduced. And they change your language. They change your language because they didn't want you to know. So I went back to read the top of this, and a better title for this chapter would have been "Passing the Conn." And so this first line is what it says. So this is Watcher, W-A-H or Chet R, C-H, W-A-C-H-R. The Watcher bow most whereon. The Watcher bow most whereon. The forwardmost watch. To yammer to make word to. Law. Got a hyphen, gonna read this backwards. The or Piro. Key, to give the, got a hyphen, gonna read this backwards again. To give the first from Amar. To give the first from word. You yell. You can see this is the same word as Alahem, but it's missing the M on the back. From yell would be Alahem. So to give the first from word, you yell, Y-E-L-A. It's reading backwards, starts with an A. His rule. So what's that saying is the watcher of the bow of the bow most whereon. That's whereon the most forward watch, the forward watch on the boat. To make word to the law, L-A, to bind the power, to make the law, the or Piro. Piro is an open row. That's a boat. The same thing we use out here in Conn land. Piro. It's an open row boat. It's always been this. It's not a pharaoh, it's a Piro. If you're in a Piro here, you are the pharaoh because there's only room for one person, you know. Whoever's in it's the captain. And to give the first from the word, you yell his rule. And what it is you're the captain of the boat. This is a Piro. This is an open row. And all ancient people knew that God was a sailor, and he sailed the heavens, creating galaxies and stars and planets. Every ancient person know this. And there's always an open row. This is an open row here. It's P row. It's open, and you got ports for oars when there's no wind. If you're going against the wind when you're pulling in port, you know the wind's not always working with you. So you have to have row. You have to have rowers. It's the first that was on day one. The rowers, the oar and the rower. And so we're fixing to find out who all this is in the boat. And this chapter 5 is what it's talking about. It's talking about who's in the boat. And I found one that definitely nailed it down at the end. So the watcher of the bow most whereon. To yammer to. Lo, beware, or to know. Learn, bind the knowledge, learn. The or, open row. to give the first from word, the first from word, to give the commands. You yell his rule. And so the only time you would do that is you know, you have the captains up in the wheelhouse, or the officer on the watch is on the wheelhouse, and you have a conning officer, and his job is he's telling the man operating the rudder and the engines how fast and which direction. He's got the Conn. That's where you see the Conn is always the priest in here. When it says the Conn, it's the priest. But that's who's control. That's where your word control come from. And so when you move the watch, when you move the control to the forward watch, it's because you're either coming in port, you're in shallow waters, and you need to have the man right up front that can see, to have direct control, so he doesn't have to holler to the captain in the back, and then or the officer in the back, whoever's in control, and then them holler at the engines or steer. You send the control directly to the forward watch, the bow watch, so he can move more quickly. He's got control. Everybody rowing the boat, you're now you listen to the forward watch. The forward watch has the command. You do this when you're trying to hook your anchor chain to a anchor buoy offshore or something dangerous, and you need the man in front to be controlling things. And it might be you, it might be the captain. You might have went forward and told everybody on your way that, hey, I got the Conn. I'm up forward here. Watch me. So this is the niggers, and it's not because they're black. It's because they're rowing the boat, and they're giving this man command. If these people here, if they don't listen to his command's worthless. They enable your rulers. Your rulers are enabled by niggers. That would be us, everybody who pays taxes, you all the niggers. And without you, they don't have command of nothing. They can't operate the boat. So you're going to be ruled by Muslims until you wake up. You're always going to be ruled by Muslims. You can't stop this. It's the Word of God. It's right here in the book. For the time that the Philistines had dominion over Israel, the Muslim, and this comes from your base word muscle, and it's not Hebrew, it's an ancient English word, and I'm telling you, the English language was here way before all that. It was originally English, and the muscle is the ruling. The Muslim are your rulers. Until you learn to govern yourself without rulers, you will always be ruled by a Muslim, and that's the Word of God right here. So nobody seems to be liking these long movies. I ain't getting no shares and no comments on that last one. And my internet's still real slow. I have a feeling it's going to speed up about 2 more days. But I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to skip to the end. And if you think the rest of this has been vulgar, you don't even want to hear this. So I'll see y'all later, whoever thinks it's too vulgar. But this is at the end of that 21. There's only 23 lines in this verse. But down here at 21, it says to yammer to vav, to make amar, word to yammer to, from the lawyer, word from the lawyer. You wholly come, wholly is in all, or the whole thing. You all come to make spit. Spit could be judgment, could be language. To make spit, raise the bastum. The bastum, to be aboard. It's something terrible, terrible. The bastum. So if you look that up, you're going to see, it only comes at one place. And it means it's plural of baster. Third person plural of baster. A baster would be a South African a baster, a Nambian, South African, or I think the Dutch, in Dutch it's a mixed breed. And I hate to think that they would call a Nambian woman a boar, a baster, unless it had a different meaning. But yeah, bastum is plural baster. Bastum, the basters. The baster, and it says the baster is to suffice, to satisfy. And so that would be the opposite of aboard. They changed your language. They changed your language because we knew how to read this. We had the Bible before the great language change. That's why they changed the language. But being I spent a good bit of time in the Navy and on the boats, and I've traveled around the world and did some pimping and what have you. I also know that a baster has another well-known meaning, and it's when you baste her face. She gets her face basted and loves it. So I'm gonna cut this off. Nobody's liking my long ones, and my internet's too slow. And I'll finish this up. I'm gonna do all this Exodus 5. It's a good chapter. All right. Good day.